Liverpool Football Club are not messing around. They've just won a league title in ridiculous fashion. They've announced Frimpong. Fabrizio Romano has given an update with regards to Kerkez, and Florian Wirtz has basically told everyone that he is joining Liverpool. Personal terms have been agreed. You add those three players to an already title-winning side with Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, Alisson, Konate, Gravenberch, all these fantastic players. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to stop Liverpool Football Club. And I've got together an 11 on how I think they will play, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. We're steamrolling our way towards 60,000 subscribers, and we're about 50 or so away from hitting 55k. If you haven't already, please go down and hit that subscribe button. Now, I want to start with Fabrizio Romano's update with regards to Milos Kerkez, which I think will probably be wrapped up and done in the next couple of days. Liverpool are prepared to seal Milos Kerkez deal with one more round of talks to get over the line. Bournemouth and Liverpool are finalising the agreement after personal terms last week. Here we go soon with a little bomb and a hungry flag. What a signing he's going to be. One of the best young fullbacks in the Premier League. A fantastic understudy for Robertson, who probably will be slowly phased out of this Liverpool side, and what a servant he has been for the football club. And you had that in with Florian Wirtz yesterday, saying that he does not want to steal McAllister's number 10, and he, has already agreed personal terms. Look at this potential Liverpool side. This looks fucking insane. Florian Wirtz in the false nine with Cody Gakpo and Salah either side of him. We know that Luis Diaz has got a strong interest out in Saudi Arabia, so he may well be leaving. You also got Darwin Núñez that he could raise the money for a sale as well. Florian Wirtz, they're looking at signing for around 150 million euros. You then got a midfield of McAllister, Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai, with probably going into the season the best fullback pairing, maybe alongside Newcastle with Frimpong and Kerkez, with Konate, Virgil van Dijk, and Alisson. For backups, you've got Robertson, Connor Bradley. You've got Georgie Marmadashvilli as the backup number one, because we know Kelleher has just joined Brentford. Backup midfielders, you've got Curtis Jones, you've got Endo. They probably need one more attacker in terms of one more midfielder and probably another centre back. And they're good to go. They are absolutely good to go. You look at the Premier League table, this league title, I don't care what anyone says, it was done and dusted probably January, February time, right? Look at that. They won by 10 clear points. They absolutely smashed the life out of this Premier League. And the signings that they're making, they're not messing around. They are not messing around. They mean business. 25 Premier League wins, only 4 defeats. And other than Forest, every single one of those defeats come after they won the Premier League. Florian Wirtz has come out on his social media, on an Instagram post, saying that he will not be taking McAllister's number 10, basically saying that, I am going to be a Liverpool player. It's going to be very, very interesting to say. This is what he ended up saying was something along the lines of this on his Instagram story. I will not. Who says I won't respect players? Who says I want the number 10? I respect players. Don't believe everything what's written. And that was coming out from One Football. Now, Liverpool, for me, on that 11 I showed, you've got very, very good squad depth. And Liverpool fans right now should be over the flipping moon with how this transfer window is going. Bearing in mind, they didn't sign anyone other than Federico Chiesa throughout the entire duration of last season. And the way they could play with a back three of Gravenberch alongside Van Dijk and Konate in possession, Frimpong and Kerkez as attacking wing-backs, Maka sitting in front with Florian Wirtz, Gakpo, Salah, maybe Wirtz goes as a false nine. There is so many different variations of play styles that they can play. And I think Arne Slot's plan for Wirtz, Kerkez and Frimpong, honestly, they're going to be one hell of a side going into next season. They're also, there's been a few links to Hugo Ekitike. Could potentially he come in as a 9. Florian Wirtz as well. You look at his individual stats, they are ridiculous. They really, really are. He's only 22 years of age. And when you got someone like Michael Edwards running your football club, it's very difficult to look at anything other than success, because he's one of the best people when it comes to building a squad, and they've already won a league title. So it's not like he's building, already on top of a winning team. And you look at Florian Wirtz's numbers, 45 games last season across all competitions, 16 goals and 15 assists, 31 GA and 45. You put that in a team with Salah, you put that in a team with Gakpo, with Gravenberch, with McAllister. I do think they need probably one more defender at centre-back, because I do think if Van Dijk or Konate were to get a long-term injury, I just think they need that little bit more security at the back. But at full-back, they're absolutely sweet with Robertson and, of course, Kerkez. At right-back, they're fine with Frimpong and Connor Bradley. Midfield, I think they're more than strong enough to go again, and it looks like, according to reports, that Luis Diaz does have huge interest out in Saudi Arabia. Now, if he were to go, you could generate a massive fee for him, because of, we know how much Saudi teams are prepared to play for Premier League players. Now, Ben Jacobs come out yesterday saying Al Nassr are set to approach Liverpool for an €85 million bid. And this was the Anfield Talk Twitter account that put this out, saying unclear if Diaz wants to go to Saudi while Barcelona remains an option, but the Colombian winger is one of Al Nassr's top targets. Now, you've got to think, some of these Saudi teams for instance, Al Hilal, do have the Club World Cup. So if they want to get some of this business done, they need to get this business done very, 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 very soon, because of how the transfer window is open and then closes and then reopens again. And you need to get these players registered in time for this Club World Cup. So in terms of Liverpool Football Club right now, I think if you can generate 85 million, that's what, 75 million pounds, maybe 70 million pounds for Diaz. I think you have to take it. Diaz, I'm a big fan of him. I think he's a good player. But at the same time, he is 28, just turned 28. And you've got Florian Wirtz coming into the setup. You've also got, some teams interested in Harvey Elliott. I know there's a couple of teams out in Germany interested in him. I would love Harvey Elliott at Spurs. I think that is a very, very good signing for us. In terms of, this come out yesterday that Bayer Leverkusen are no longer considering Harvey Elliott following the latest developments. So does that tell you that maybe the Saudi links are further along down the road? Could Harvey Elliott be getting more football? He stepped up in some big games last year. You've only got to look at that PSG game in the last 16 away at the Parc des Princes. They ended up, winning that game 1-0 when it was from a Darwin Núñez assist into Harvey Elliott, both substitutes off the bench. But, in today's market, Harvey Elliott is probably a £50 million player because of, one, he's homegrown. So English tax is, of course, a massive thing over in this country. And you've also got the fact that he's just won a Premier League title. There's going to be a pedigree because he's a Big Six player, Big Six team, top six club. So I think, he's probably going to generate a huge fee. But when you look at this lineup on paper, if they keep Harvey Elliott, it just improves their squad depth going into next season even more. I genuinely think this is a team that goes out and wins another Premier League title. I know Man City are looking at Ain't Nouri. I know Man City are looking at Cherky. This Liverpool team is something else. Florian Wirtz, Salah, Gakpo, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gravenberch, Frimpong, Kerkez, Konate, Van Dijk, Alisson. For me, that is a team that will go and win the Premier League for me. I see Arsenal and City have really got to step up in the next few days / weeks throughout this transfer window if they want to go and compete. Because for me, you look at how strong they look, you look at the transfer business they're doing, and the fact they've just won a trophy. There's a winning mentality in that dressing room. A lot of those players, Robertson, Van Dijk, Alisson, Salah have all been there, seen it and done it. So it's going to be very, very difficult for anyone to stop them. Make sure you go down, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all soon.